All right, this will clap.
All right. Oh, here we are.
Hello.
Episode 3 of Hot Takes with God. I'm Jackson.
I'm Alex.
And this week, actually, I had this idea for this episode, like before Halloween. But then our second episode got
Took an extra week.
Yeah, I got it because we lost the audio and all that stuff. So we didn't get to really do it in time. But I had the idea that it might be fun to tell just like stories, I guess, from our lives that are like strange, or like weird. I don't know. I have a lot of those. I feel like I have a fair amount of like strange experiences.
I probably do, but I view it more as everyday life than. So I'm just gonna go through some things. But
All right.
You want to kick it off? You want me to? I would need a D4.
Oh yeah, D4. That would be nice. I can go first.
Okay.
So the first one I'll start with. I guess I don't think you've ever heard this one, so this will be interesting.
Spicy.
You might have, but I kind of had forgotten about it until I was like sitting in my studio like prepping for today, like writing down stuff. But this one time, I wasn't in college yet. So I was in high school. So I was probably like 16 or 17, I think. But we went camping with actually kind of nearby, in a state park near Chattanooga, with this family that lives here. It's kind of like they're kind of like my aunt and uncle, but like not actually related, the Irwins. But we went my family went camping, and they met us one night for dinner at this restaurant that my mom had picked out. Which how she fucking found this restaurant, I have no idea. But it was at I think it was at Fall Creek Falls. I think that's where we were camping. But so to preface, the history of the cases and the Irwins is like fraught with strange occurrences and like weird scenarios. Like they got that like huge blizzard that came through Chattanooga like in the 90s or whatever. Like my parents were here visiting the Irwins and got trapped with them inside their house.
Well,
and
I
are
think
like
it was 94, 95.
Yeah, like potentially the only reason that the Irwins like survived is because my parents like knew how to camp and like knew how to, the power was out and everything, but they had like a wood burning stove in their basement that they didn't know how to use or anything, and my parents were like, we do this every day at home, and we're like, that's a whole other story that I wasn't there for. I was not alive yet, obviously, but. So there's been a lot of weird things that have happened with our two families when we come together. So anyway, though, we're at the state park. We pull up to this restaurant with the Irwins, and first things first, there's this like huge concrete like elephant, like life size elephant in the front yard of this like plantation style like South plantation
classic
style home.
White people stuff.
Classic white people stuff. It's like a pink elephant.
Yes.
But it's got a Tennessee tea on it.
Yes.
Yeah. So that was our first like, that's weird. And we walk up to this house, and as we're walking up, we're like beginning to realize that like this is a house. Like it's not a restaurant that looks like a house.
It's just
it's just a house.
Yeah.
And so we're like, oh, okay, well like maybe we're not in the right spot.
Yeah.
So we but we knock on the door anyways because confidence. My family my mom is full of confidence. And so she knocks on the door. It takes a second, but I think I want to say the woman answers the phone or answers the door, and she's like it's, it's like 7 or 8. Like it's darkish, but it's not like all the way dark. Like it's definitely not like you're in bed, But she answers in like a nightgown, which is like interesting. Okay.
Okay.
And we're like, hey, like we were looking for this restaurant. Like this clearly isn't like where we're supposed. Do you know? And they were like, no, this is it. You're in the right place. And we were like, what? And she was like, yeah, come in, give me just a minute. My husband will be down, and he'll take you to like the seating, like the restaurant area.
Yeah.
We were like, okay, so there's like 10 of us, right?
Yeah.
There's me, my sister, my mom, my dad, the Connie and Donnie Irwin, their son and daughter, and their spouses.
Yeah.
Right. So we're all just kind of like in this, and there's a dog. Not our dog. There's just a dog in the house. Just kind of running around. I'm like 16, 17. I'm petting the dog, hanging out. Of
course, as you should be.
Everyone is definitely a little bit, like, at this point, we've all come to the conclusion that this is strange. Like, this isn't maybe where we meant to go, but we figure there's 10 of us. There seems to be 2 of them and a dog. Let's see what happens. And so we go. The husband comes down. He's, like, also in, like, some semblance of pajamas.
Mm-hmm.
And he's got a bathrobe on. I remember the bathrobe, like, vividly for some reason. Like, that was a big, like, if he'd just been in, like, sweatpants and, like, a shirt, it would have been, like, okay. You know, I've seen cooks, guys that work in restaurants and shit that go to work like that. It's like, all right, you're just comfy, you're cooking, I get it. But the bathrobe really, like, took it to another level, you know? So they take us up to, like, the second floor out on this balcony that's, like, outside. And it's just one table, 10 chairs. That's it. Like, they knew we were coming. It's, like, just set out, like, for us. Like, it's, like, no one else. There's no other tables. There's no, like, other restaurant area.
Yeah.
It's just this. And so we're like, okay, cool. And it's, like, not, like, a nice table. It's like a folding table, but like a nice folding table, but like a folding table. Yeah, like the ones we use for like D&D, but like covered with like a tablecloth. No. So we're all sitting there, just kind of like looking at each other, like, what's going on here? And then they come out and like, I don't know what all was on the menu. I'm pretty sure everyone got a steak and a baked potato. I don't know if that was like
all there was
or not,
that's
but
what everyone got.
That's what I like seem to remember everyone getting. Like, maybe a couple people got like a burger or something, but it was all like, you know, that kind of thing. Like there wasn't like a lot of options. Like that's for sure.
Why would there
be? And so it's like he goes off to cook our food. Actually, I don't think he cooked. Maybe he did cook the food. Yeah, I think he did cook the food because he was gone for a while, and like the wife was also gone for she was pretty chill-ish seeming. Like she just kind of like didn't fuck with us. Like once, like seemed like it was the husband's like
his
business.
Whole thing, yeah.
And so that's happening. Like, he goes on to cook our food, and we're, like, discussing what's going on right now, and, like, if we should just leave, or, like, if we should stay. We all decide we should just stay. Yeah. Like, let's just see what's going to happen.
You're already there.
Yeah. So, they bring out the food, we start, like, eating, and it's, you know, it's not bad. You know, it's not great. It's not bad. You know, it's nothing to put your nose up at or anything. But then, the dude comes back out, still bathrobed up.
Yeah.
And there's he brings out like a keyboard and like stand. And then proceeds to like serenade us while we're eating, but like it's like really bad.
I need you to call your parents. Find out where this is, like the name of this restaurant.
I don't know. That's the thing. We're gonna get to that. Don't worry. We're gonna get to that. And so this is all happening, and then at some point, you know, during the meal, like I think it's Jared, Connie and Donnie's son.
Yeah.
That, I mean, he's, you know, like a little bit older than I am now at that time, probably. So he's like 27 or 28 maybe. And he's like, hey, like, is there like a bathroom we can use, or like, you know, I gotta take a leak or whatever. And so the guy's like, yeah, just go through this room and like you see like the lighted room on the other side of this room, like that's the bathroom. And so Jared's just like, okay, cool. So he goes off, he's gone for a little while, you know, takes care of business, whatever, comes back, dude leaves for a minute, like, to do something, and Jared's like, okay, come here. We all, like, lean in. He's like, guys, you all have to go to the bathroom. Like, don't be weird about it, but, like, you have to go to the bathroom. Like, just one by one. Like, you have to go to the bathroom. And so, like, we're all like, what the fuck? Like, what could possibly be so good that we all have to go to see it? And he can't, like, just say it.
Yeah.
So we all start going, and everyone comes back with this, like, gleeful look of just, like, what the fuck was that they just saw? And so it eventually comes to my turn, and I walk in this room that's in between the bathroom and the, it's like lit outside and it's lit on the other side, and it's not lit in there, and there's no, like, there's like one window, so it's not very bright. Like, you can see in there once you've been in there for a second, but, like, if you're looking through it, you can't really tell what's in there. So first thing, I step foot in there, and it's the, like, just deepest, just, like, luscious carpet I've ever felt. Like, sink into it. Like, it's like shag. Yeah. Like, hardcore shag carpeting. So I'm like...
In a bathroom.
That's no. In the room between...
Oh, okay,
yeah,
okay.
This is in between. So I'm
about to say, that's a ballsy move for a bathroom.
No, the bathroom, not exciting. It's just a normal bathroom from what I remember. It's this room that is really important.
Oh, okay.
So I step in, and I'm, like, inspecting the shag carpeting and being like, that's kind of weird. Like, I didn't think anyone, like, this seems like a weird, it's like a very plantation, like, white style home, and it's like got this weird shag carpeting from, like, the 70s, and it's like, what's happening here? And then I start looking around as my eyes adjust, and it's just like I would say like a maybe like 15 by 15 room or something like that. Just absolutely shrined out to Elvis fucking Presley. Just like memorabilia everywhere, photos, huge life-size fucking like busts and shit, and it's just like, oh god! And like being from Memphis, like we all kind of hate Elvis, like not really. We appreciate his music and like what he did for like white people, bringing black people, like bringing awesome music to white people boring music, and telling them how to like dance a little bit and shake their hips. Like that was that was good. Like I mean, he definitely culturally appropriated, and like that's probably not cool. But like at the same time, like you really advanced music.
Like, I want you to realize something now, that the reason that carpet was so shag, because they'd be fucking on the floor. Like,
no, I mean, thinking back, for sure, I remember that they were definitely fucking while Elvis watched.
Yeah,
100%. Yeah, so, Elvis room, weird, and yeah, I mean, the night just kind of continued from there, I mean, we, like, nothing happened, like, no one tried to, like, lure someone into an adjacent room or like ask us to stay the night or like anything like that. And I mean, it left, we were left just thinking like, what the fuck, like what was that experience that we just had? And then, so years later, right, I'm like a sophomore in college, and I go back to Fall Creek Falls with my girlfriend and some friends, and I'm telling them the story because I'm remembering it as we're like driving through, and I like remember where this fucking place used to be. Like I know how to get there from the park, just like in this like core memory that I have because I was like traumatized or something, I guess. So I drive us there. No sign of it.
Wow.
Just doesn't exist. Like, there's, like, trees, like, in place of it that look, like, old. Like, it was weird.
Maybe
I went to the wrong spot or something, but, like, it was, like, I wouldn't be surprised if that had all, like, been, like, some weird, like, I don't know, like, alien encounter. Like, it was just, like, the whole vibe of the night was just, like, on edge. Like everyone was just kind of like on pins and needles about like what was gonna happen next. Like it was just a weird, it was one of the first times that like once I'd kind of like come to the point where I was like, all right, aliens like probably are a thing. I was like, man, that's like the one instance in my life where I'm like, I think I might have met aliens. Like because it was just such a like a false human experience.
Yeah.
Like it was just like like people. This is people music. Like it was just a very like someone trying to be
human
who like didn't really had a vague understanding of like what a
what
restaurant
it's
was
supposed to be,
and
yeah.
like stuff like that. It was just weird. Like it was just strange.
That's very odd.
Yeah.
I hope to become those people.
I
Sounds
mean-
delightful. So like, people just show up at your place like, hey, welcome to my place.
And
Yeah, we'll
just
put
like-
you out back and cook you some steak, some potatoes, and you're gonna love it.
I mean, yeah.
The bathroom is through the shrine.
Through the Elva Shrine room. Like, and I'm gonna badly serenade you. But
That's my favorite part.
But I'm not gonna like.
That's my
I'm not
favorite
just gonna
part.
start singing. Like, I'm gonna ask for
Requests?
Yeah, like he wanted requests.
That's a ballsy move.
Yeah,
Right
and we-
fucking there.
We definitely pulled out like Donnie, Connie's husband. Donnie is he's a musician and definitely kind of a wise ass. And definitely I don't remember what song it was, and that is gonna haunt me. But he definitely, I remember like us asking for a couple like just like weird songs like a Katy Perry song, I want to say, like, came up. Like, it was just a strange experience.
That's fucking weird.
Yeah. It was wild.
Serenades.
You know, I mean, it's a lost art.
It
People
is.
aren't doing it anymore.
Mm-mm.
People aren't doing it anymore. I mean, you go to, like, maybe, like, a real old school... Oh, fuck. The goddamn camera.
No, it went off. It's fine. We'll have to clap when it's back on. Hey, it's back on. I clapped.
I clapped.
I don't think y'all realize how important the clap is. We found out how important it
Oh,
was.
God, yeah. We spent... I mean, the first episode... We just got really lucky and... Or not lucky, I guess we just didn't notice that the camera
Yeah,
turned
just
off,
cut off
after a
and-
certain point, and so it was just really easy to line up the audio because it was just had to do it for one clip. But last time we had to do it for like 6 clips?
Yeah. Something
Yeah.
like that.
So that was... And we just had like whole conversations in between.
Yeah,
It sounded
entire
like they were
arcs
on tape, but they weren't.
Yeah.
And so it was just a whole thing.
Yeah.
But yeah. So, do you have something? Does that inspire anything in you? I have more, but I don't want to talk the whole time.
No, I know. I mean, I gotta throw out what I got. I don't know if I have as many, I guess, fun stuff like that.
It doesn't have to be fun. I mean...
No, I was gonna talk about the time my step-grandmother, I've told you about this a little bit before, where she attempted to poison my grandfather.
Oh,
through,
yeah. This is wild.
putting-
This is the wildest shit.
It's the wildest, like, if you're a gold digger, like, just
Listen
wait.
up.
It's, like, chill. But at the same time, you can pull it off. That's the thing. It's not that hard, and they're not going to come after you that hard, like,
Yeah.
apparently.
Apparently not.
So, my grandmother, she's passed now. She died of some form of cancer. She attempted to kill my grandfather by putting wax, like candle wax.
And what age is this, by the way? When did
his
it
soup.
start?
I was alive. I mean, I have full memory of going to the hospital.
So they're
and,
like at least 60-something.
yeah, probably a little older than that.
Okay, cool. I just want to set
Yeah,
so
they're
people
older.
can visualize like
They're
these
older.
old people, like this
Yeah,
old lady.
I mean,
like,
and this has also
Tom and
been
Jerry.
after years of like legal disputes of his will and how much her kid's getting versus his blood kids and
that
her
stuff.
making him sign stuff that he didn't want to sign, and that's a whole fucking thing. But yeah, she straight up, you just melt wax and put it in a soup, you'll kill it. You can get close to killing a person.
I mean, you're not supposed to eat wax.
No, you're not supposed
You
to
know,
eat wax
It'll
because it
clog
kind of
your shit up.
hardens up
Yeah.
and whatnot. Yeah, and that's what happened. He got poisoned, was in the hospital for weeks and weeks, and they had to pump his stomach up.
Jesus.
And at one point, I mean, his mind was starting to go at this point too, because I mean, he's getting up there in age, and I mean, I'm sure getting poisoned by your wife doesn't help
Doesn't help.
mentally.
It's Gotta be rough.
I remember one point he like attempted to rip up the tube, and it was a whole thing. Yeah, and then I guess moral of the story: she never went to jail. She never got prosecuted. She lived in that house until she died.
Yeah, if you're an old lady,
like you can attempt murder and be fine,
like,
and no one
really
is gonna do
it.
shit.
Yeah.
And we tried, like we.
Yeah, like pursued it.
Yeah, of course.
I mean, yeah.
She attempted to kill my grandfather. Like that's not Gucci. That's not
cool.
something.
Not cool.
Like I mean, I didn't, but my mother
Yeah.
pursued every avenue available to her, but like I mean. Comes down, you can't prove she did it, but like she made the soup.
But she made the soup.
She made so
slag. Yeah, that's weird. That's crazy. That's wild.
Yeah. So, yeah, I have stories like that.
Those are good. Those are perfectly fine. Mine are just not like I don't have as many like crazy family like that kind of crazy stories like
yeah. I once picked up a real snake because I thought it was a fake snake.
Cool.
Yeah. I once stepped on a squirrel. Yeah. That's impressive in its own right.
Like a slow squirrel or like
stepped on it.
What were you?
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool.
It's a true story.
Yeah, no, I mean, that's wild.
And I went, hey! I was like, what the fuck?
What the fuck?
Didn't mean to do it. I wasn't meaning to do it. I wasn't hunting down that squirrel going, I won't stomp you out.
I'll stomp you out.
But I did.
Yeah. You did. You stomped him out. I stomped him out. So yeah, I mean, I don't know. I mean, I have weird stuff like that, but that's not really like what I prepared for this. But like my next one is gonna go like way off rails from what we've been talking about. And what I was talking about, I mean, it's completely separate from the first thing I was talking about.
Yeah, no, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But anyway, I guess I'll get into that.
And then I'll throw in a couple more
of
my
pepper
weirds.
in some more
Pepper more of mine.
So this one is it's kind of a 3-part story because it's like 3 separate events that all happened during this like one time period that I like count as like a singular whole, if that makes sense. So it was my junior year of college, and it was like I think mostly second semester, so like the springish, like winter springish. Definitely like I guess it happened. It started at the beginning of or the end of the fall semester, over Christmas break, and then into the spring semester. But basically, in school, I was kind of like looking around for like what my next project was gonna be, like what I was gonna get into, because I kind of had like felt separated from what I had been doing, like at the end of high school, and then what I'd been doing in college up until that point had been like largely multidiscipline, and so like I wanted to like focus in on photography again. And like so I was trying to figure out what I was gonna do, and I'd been looking into like alternative forms of religion and stuff up until this point, so I was already kind of in like a weird mind space. So I got really into like spirit photography, like from like the 1800s. And just like where that has like gone and stuff like that, and just like the idea of like seances and ghosts and hauntings, and you know there's like all these, you know, places that so many people say are haunted, and like what does that mean? Like are those like really like ghosts, or is it like an energy thing? Like how is that? So I was just curious. I just wanted to like kind of get into that, and so I started like researching and going to all these haunted places, right? So like the first part would be really early on. I got myself, my friend Millen, my other friend Mike, and Beth. I think that was it. To go, we all went to the like Confederate cemetery that's like right by UTC. And we were just like, I kind of like instructed them to like, this is kind of what I'm looking for. Like, just kind of go out into the like cemetery and like feel your way around like vibe wise, and kind of like make yourself open to the shit. And like if you feel something weird, like let me know and I'll come over there. And so we're all like out there, and I'm like not really expecting a ton, because cemeteries are kind of a weird thing where it's like, if you've been laid to rest, like supposedly like the odds of you coming back as a ghost are kind of rare. Like it's usually like you had to be like, you kind of like die violently and then are like left there, or like your spirit is like attached to where you died. Rights. Like you're not getting like, and like if you are haunting somewhere, it's not where your body was laid to rest, it's where the like violent event happened.
Yeah, it's where your soul left your body.
Right.
Yeah.
So it's like not really like it's kind of just a weird spot. So it was like, but I had heard weird things about it. So I was like, fuck it. Like, it's right there by campus. Mm-hmm. Like, let's just go over there one day after class. And so we're all over there. And it's definitely like, I mean, it's got some weird vibes to it for sure. Like, it's a Confederate cemetery. That's already kind of weird. Right by like the college campus. And it's like, but it's like once you get into the cemetery, it's like weirdly quiet, even though it's between these like two like fairly main roads. And it's just like this whole weird thing. So we're in there for a while. And then Mike is like off by himself, and he starts like, he's like, God, like he's like kind of freaking out. So we go over there, and he's just like, his nose is just fucking gushing blood. Like he like, and this is like, I've never known him to have a nosebleed before. Mm-hmm. Like, and I at that point I'd known him for like 3 years, and I'd never known him to have a nosebleed before. So that was like first off kind of weird. And he was like saying that he had just been like sitting here, like underneath or like in front of this grave or whatever, and just kind of like meditating or something, and just like all of a sudden his nose just started like gushing blood. And like it never really like, I mean, I took photos and like nothing ever really came like up in them or anything, but it was just like a like just getting in for someone who's just getting into the stuff and like kind of skeptical still. That was a big like, okay, that was weird. And so then a couple weeks later, I went with my roommate David and my friend Kevin to the Fort Oglethorpe like battlefields out there, and just like we were just driving through, and I just kind of like had this feeling. I saw this like monument in the distance, and it was like night. It was like, this is like 10:30, like 11 o'clock at night. Like it's late. And so I had this like weird feeling, so I just pulled off and like went over and like set up my camera, and they were like, I don't know, probably like 40-50 feet away from me, like by the road. It was pretty cold, so they were just kind of like huddling over there, and I was like up on the field, and I was just taking shots, and like I remember at a certain point like just kind of like talking to the air, just like, hey, like, if anyone is like out here and you want to like show yourself, like, I'm here, I'm Jackson, like I'm a photographer, like I'm doing this, like you can feel comfortable, just trying to like, I don't do something.
Yeah.
And so like I remember at a certain point feeling this like really intense like dread and anxiety at a certain point, and I was just like, all right, I'm done. Like, this is like, that got to me. Like, that was weird. Like, I just got this really weird feeling that I was like, it's like the hair standing on my back of the head. It's time to go. So we just leave, and it's on film, so I don't know right then like what is on the film. So I go and develop it, and this is the only time this has happened. But I have this photo, and I'll try to remember to put it, like splice it into the video. Don't let me forget that. But is this photo of like it's kind of like a blurry like nighttime shot of this like field, but there's this like wispy sort of like white thing like in the middle of it, that's just kind of like this like flowy sort of like, almost like there had been like a white like silk like handkerchief like floating through, but it was like this like really long exposure shot that I had been taking for like, because that's all I had taken that night, long exposure shots, because it was nighttime. So the shutter had been open for like a while, so it would have taken like the whole time someone like standing in front of it and like waving something or like flashing a light around or whatever, and I was like looking out over the field the whole time.
Yeah.
Never saw that. And like clap.
Well, that's just for the love. We gotta get it going, and then we gotta clap.
Yeah.
There we go.
But I like have my professors look at it and like look at the film, and like, because they were like, it could have been, this or that or whatever, but like none of the other film on that strip or on that like whatever that I had developed all at the same time had anything weird going on with it. And like there were no like, it wasn't like scratched into the film or like anything like that. It wasn't anything on the developer, like on the like projector developer thing, because I had like used it for other stuff. So like all that stuff is like ruled out. So it's just like this thing that I can't explain. That's like not just like a humanoid or anything, but it's like something like,
yeah,
and I don't,
sure.
I don't know what it is. So then the third part is kind of like the final like exploration phase, I guess, or investigative phase. Is I went to Memphis for like a week because it's like a huge concentration of like haunted shit in Memphis. And so I had like lined up all these like permissions from these places to come in like off hours or like have them like close down for like 2 hours or whatever for me to come in privately to photograph without like crowds or people or like guides or restrictions or anything like that. And they all just been like, it was all really easy. Like they're all like super down, and I was like sick.
Oh, nice.
And so I went to a bunch of places, and a bunch of them felt really weird, and like I had just like not like weird experiences, but like just like strange feelings and stuff, but nothing really like of note, except me and my cousin Daniel, who hopefully will be on this podcast one day. When we go to Memphis or when he comes here or something. But he had come with me. He was hanging out with me for the day, and we were doing a couple of these things and some other stuff. And we went to this place called the Molly Fontaine House in Memphis, which if you're ever in Memphis, anyone who's listening to this, you should definitely check out the Molly Fontaine House. It's a super cool house, lots of cool history, really good guides, but also it was really cool to be there totally alone without like literally like we got there I think like 2 hours before it opened to the public, and the lady just like met us there. She was like, "Hey, like you're Jackson?" I was like, "Yeah," and she's like, "Blah blah blah," let us in. She was like, "I'm gonna go to the office. If you need anything, just let me know." And it was just like she was like, "There's no rope set up yet, so just like you don't fuck with anything, but like
don't touch it.
Like don't mess with anything, but like also
have fun,
have a good time. Take what you need, take your photos." So they just kind of gave me like free reign. And so a couple of really weird things happened in this house. It's like, first of all, haunted by like several generations of this like family. Molly Fontaine is the one who most predominantly like shows herself, but like she's a very like curious ghost. Like she likes to like get involved with what you're doing and like follow you around, and like isn't like opposed to like letting you know she's there. There's like a couple ways that she does that typically. But it's like one of the ways, apparently, because we found this out afterwards when we were talking to the like direct like guide about it. But we had gone all around the house and like on the first floor, and like it was really cool. Got some cool photos, whatever. Second floor is Molly's bedroom, and so we're in there, and she's got like her bedroom and like a second room that's like was for her baby. That's like kind of together. And so I'm like taking pictures in her room. I go in the baby's room, taking pictures. I'm taking both like digital and film photos so that I have like references digitally that I can like work with immediately. And so there's like this weird thing when I turn back around that like it looks like someone is like sitting on the bed. Like there's like a depression, like a ass is on the bed. And so I was
Asses on the bed.
asses on the bed.
Asses on the bed. Asses on the bed.
Asses on the bed. I repeat, asses on the bed.
We got a code brown. Code brown.
So that was like, I just got turned around and like Daniel was there, and I don't know if he had realized it at that point, but I was just staring at it, and so he started like looking at it, and he's like a huge scaredy cat, so he goes like white, and I'm just like, hey Molly, like, if you're listening, like, I'm Jackson, like, I'm a photographer, like, this is what I'm doing, like, if you'll allow me, like, I would love to take your photo, like,
that ass.
I'm gonna take some photos now, like, if you'd like to show yourself, like, in the film, that would be really cool. So she didn't, but I do have a photo where you can kind of, like, you see the dip in the bed, which is cool. But it definitely wasn't there, like, before. Like, I, like, had gone back and looked, and I have, like, multiple photos of it, like, from different timestamps. And, like, there's a point where it's, like, flat, and there's a point where it's, like, kind of dipped, and it's, like, I didn't sit on the bed. Daniel didn't sit on the bed. Nobody else is up here with us. Something's down the bed.
That ghost lady sat on the bed.
So that was, like, the first kind of weird thing. We were like, okay, so, like, this might be legit.
Yeah.
So then we're walking around the second floor. Everything's kind of cool. And then there's this, like, not like an attic exactly, but it's not a whole floor. It's just kind of like it, like, was an attic that they, like, made up nice at some point, you know. Or maybe attics back then were just really nice. I don't know. But it's got, like, these, like, windows all around, and it's, like, kind of like an observatory. It's kind of small, but you could definitely put, like, a chair or two up there. Like, it'd be a nice, like, reading room or something. I don't know. We go up in there, and, like, on the stairs on the way up, I'm in front, and Daniel's behind me. And he starts, like blubbering. Like, he's just like, dude, Jackson. And I'm like, what, dude? And he's like, something just, like, brushed the back of my neck. And I was like, what? And he was like, yeah, it just felt like someone, like, had, like, put, like, their, like, fingers, like, in his hair and, like, put them and, like, drew them back down. And he fucking, like, he was like, dude, let me in front of you. Like, so I had to, like, stop on the stairs, like, let him go in front of me. He was so, like, he definitely, like, for a second I thought he was messing with me.
Yeah.
When I looked him in the eyes and I was like, no, dude,
serious.
like, that dude just felt something.
Yeah.
And so, like, we go up there, and we're both just kind of like we don't really want to go back down the stairs. Because we're both like, I'm like, I don't want to feel something that concrete. And he doesn't want to feel it again, you know? So I'm like, all right, fuck it, let's go. So we go down, nothing happens. And then, like, we go down in the basement, and he had a weird experience. I went to, like, the bathroom. Like, we went down to the basement, and I was like, I gotta go, like, find somewhere that I can, like, take a piss or something.
Yeah.
So I go off and, like, talk to the lady and find a bathroom. But he's, like, down in the basement by himself. And, like, the way he describes it is, like, he was just down there and, like, he got, like, not, like, lost exactly, but it was as if, like, there was, like, you know how kind of like an Inception where they build, like, the mazes out of reality, where it's like everything looks totally normal, but it's, like, really hard to get out of a space. It was like that.
Yeah.
He was like, it just felt like dark and, like, there was something, like, angry or, like, evil down there, and I, like, couldn't get out. And I was just like, I was like, dude, I'm glad I wasn't down that basement.
Well, I didn't go.
I think I ended up going back down the basement, but he wouldn't go back down there with me. And I was like, I just, like, walked around and, like, took some photos and, like, walked back out, and I was like, yeah, no, like, I don't know, that was weird. Yeah, I didn't feel anything down there. But yeah, that was just, like, that whole experience was just really fucking, like, I don't know that I necessarily believe in, like, ghosts in the terms of, like, the poltergeist or something, but, like, there's something to be said for, like, leaving some sort of imprint on the world, like, whether it's like a strongly felt emotion that, like, just repeats on a loop, like, in a sort of, like, trying to think of, like, a pop culture reference that explain. I don't watch a lot of scary movies because I was really scared of scary movies. I still am kind of scared of scary. It's like a whole, like, inviting it into the home thing, I think, is the thing for me, because I can go do something like a haunted house or whatever, and it's scary, But it's like jump scares and it's people,
Yeah.
and I know that, and then I leave there,
Nice.
and it's done.
Yeah.
You know, that doesn't follow me home, but like watching like, you know, I don't know, some of the ones I've seen, like A Haunting in like Connecticut is like one of the ones I've seen.
Mm-hmm.
I like, that wasn't even in my house, but I was spending the night at that place, and it was just like it was a no starter.
My dad's house, 100% haunted.
Really?
Yeah, 100%.
Like, how's
like
extrapolate.
It's a female ghost. It mainly shows itself to females.
Like next time you house
multiple stories of the door was cracked, someone walked past the door, it was fucking no one.
Oh,
a lot of shit like that. Like hearing the door slam shut. You're the only one home. Just stuff like that.
Stuff like that.
Yeah.
My girlfriend, my like first 2.5 or so years of college, her dorm, the first year, like we were both convinced that it was haunted because like a bunch of weird shit, like lights would come on and off. One time, the main thing that really convinced us, was we had gone. It was like Christmas break, and she was the last one to leave her dorm. And I took her home, so like I can corroborate that. Like I took her to Nashville on my way to Memphis, because she didn't have a truck at that point. And then I also picked her back up, and we were also the first ones back. Like we came back as soon as they opened the dorms, because all our friends were coming back. We were gonna party for New Year's and shit like that.
For sure.
So we all came back, and we like walk into her dorm. And like we had turned off all the lights, like everything, and like unplugged stuff, like fairy lights and stuff, but like unplugged them. All the lights were on. Every fucking light in the place was on, and it smelled like sulfur, like hardcore like sulfur. And we were just like we've been gone for like a total of like 2 weeks, maybe like a week and a half or something. And so there's like maintenance, but like they have to leave like a report and stuff, and they like because people like because you leave your belongings there over winter break, so they have to like tell you they're coming, and like you know all that kind of stuff, and like nothing was like disturbed, like nothing was like moved, but like, and if maintenance had come, like why had they plugged like the lamps and stuff back in? Like. It was fine. We, like, immediately got the fuck out of there. We, like, put her shit down. I don't even know if we put her shit down there. We might have just gone. Because my dorm was, like, one over and up the stairs.
Yeah.
So I think we might have just gone to my dorm and, like, spent, like, the next couple days in there. Like, not in hers, just to, like, let her roommates get back. So that she wouldn't be alone in there.
That's funny.
But it was, like, yeah, it was weird. And, like, other times, like, the lights would come, like, on and off. And, like, she would... like say that she had like I don't know she like thought she was like sensitive or like attuned to that kind of thing, so but I don't know about all that
all that mumbo jumbo.
But she reported having like other weird experiences over there. And I never really knew any of the other girls that well that lived there.
I just got it.
Nice. I didn't know any of the other girls that lived over there, so like I wouldn't really be able to like talk to them about it. And like they definitely most of them were like I think pretty hardcore like Christian. So like ghosts are like not a thing. Right? Does Christianity rule out ghosts? I feel like it does. Because you just go to heaven, like you don't. There's no like.
You're supposed to go to heaven or hell, but
there's no like
ghosts
purgatory.
are normally fought. Well, unless you're Catholic.
Well, yeah, Catholic, but that's not Christianity. That's Catholicism.
Yeah, it's Catholicism.
I don't think. Well, no, because the ghost of like Saint. No, I mean that's still Catholicism.
Yeah, Catholicism. I guess Catholicism deals a lot with ghosts because
they got exorcists
saints,
and saints and exorcisms and shit that you get possessed.
Yeah, like, I mean, literally, to become a saint, you have to perform, like, 3 miracles, and it has to be after you've died.
Really?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
It's, like, in the presence of like your image or something.
Huh.
Yeah. That's how you become a saint.
Wow.
The first saint born in this millennium, or 2000s.
Really?
Yeah, just been declared.
Wow.
Not long ago.
What's he a saint of? Or she?
It's a he. Saint something. I don't know. I mean, you don't become like a saint of something. I don't think.
Not anymore. There's not enough stuff anymore.
I guess not.
No. There's some like, I mean, there's some saints of like some pretty like small, like the saint of like paper makers. Like there's, you know, there's saints of stuff.
Yeah, patron saint of, I don't know. Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe
I'm
you
not
gotta
sure
do some. Maybe you gotta do some more stuff. You gotta get like that's like third level
cool
sainthood.
Stuff, yeah, you know? And it's hard to set that stuff up before you die. You know, like
yeah,
it's a ghost. Yeah, so if you're Catholic, you believe in ghosts.
So like
making that.
If I just get if I get a bunch of people to put my image up places after I die, and like a bunch of like good stuff just happens to happen.
Yeah.
In front of it,
You're
like I could become a saint.
You're not Catholic.
Well, what if I became Catholic just for that? Like, they don't have to know
that's fine.
how much how many times voted I am.
You decide to become Catholic, yep, works.
Yeah, you don't have to get, like, anything done to you to become Catholic.
I don't think so. Gotta say some stuff.
Maybe you get, like,
gotta really believe it.
Yeah, like a spritzing.
Probably get baptized, rebaptized.
Yeah.
Like every house, you got to...
This video is sponsored, not really, but it could be sponsored by Miller High Life.
This video could be sponsored by Miller High Life. Champagne and beers.
Just saying. Just throw it out there.
We drink a lot of it.
We do drink a lot of it. There was something else that I wanted to shout out, but I don't remember what it was. Maybe next time. Anyway, do you have another story?
No, I thought that was a good one with my dad's house is haunted.
Oh yeah, that was good. That was
nice
good. I didn't think I knew that.
I feel like
I've definitely had some like weird feelings in there for sure.
Oh, for sure, yeah.
That bathroom.
Which one?
The one off the living room.
Mm-hmm.
That's a weird bathroom.
It's got this massive mirror, and then it's just
Yeah, I've definitely taken some like photos just in the bathroom because it's just like a strange. Like I have this. Okay, I don't know if I've ever talked to you about this, but I have this like weird thing with bathrooms. I'm like super fascinated by bathrooms. Like I've done like a lot of research into bathrooms. Like,
okay.
Bathrooms are just like the way that they're like set up and like decorated or not decorated or like clean versus not clean, and like do they have like how many urinals and like how are they separated, and like there's just a lot of like thought that is put into bathrooms, and like I don't know, I just find like I have this whole what do you call it? Like not like a compilation, not like an album. I guess it's kind of like an album of like just photos that I've taken of bathrooms.
Yeah.
Just like all over the place, like all over the world. When I go to bathrooms, like I just like sometimes I just walk into a bathroom and I'm like, this is a bath. Like it's just something like weirdly aesthetically pleasing to me about bathrooms. Not all bathrooms,
no.
But like
how does our bathroom rank?
Oh, our bathroom is a shit tier bathroom. It's too small. That's kind of the problem.
It's so small, and it doesn't have a door.
It doesn't really have any it doesn't have a door. It has a door, but the door's stuck, so it's just a curtain in the front. I mean, it works, you know. It's
Tell your friends about this podcast so we can put a door on our bathroom.
Please, we can get our door, because the door to my room is the same style door, and it's totally gonna go out.
Oh, it's starting to.
Yeah, and I'm gonna have to put up a curtain, and I'm not really into that. I mean, all the doors in this house are already like slatted like that, so there's like zero privacy.
No
but, like,
privacy.
I feel like a door, like you couldn't just like walk through a door. You can totally just walk through a curtain. Like you don't have to like knock on a curtain. Like there's no like, I know you're coming. Like even if you were to barge in through the door, like it's gonna take you a second.
Yeah.
Like I can prepare myself.
Turn the knob. You got milliseconds, but with barging through, you just keep stepping.
Just walk through. I could get beads though. I would know you're coming with beads. I could hear it.
Beads and then a curtain.
But you could just see through the beads.
Yeah.
You'd have to get something to put behind the beads.
That'd be far less privacy than.
Yeah. It would really go with the whole. I don't know. Actually, the theme of my room is really kind of strange. There's a lot of weird stuff going on. Like, I feel like the cow's or the deer skull really like puts everything into question. You know,
We both have a deer skull in our.
yeah, I've never
Have
hunted
antlers.
before. I don't. I just my dog found that deer skull and brought it up to the house one time. Yeah, and I bleached it. And, I actually when I was talking about earlier doing the alternative religions stuff in college, I like.
Was that your altar for a while?
Well, it was a part of it. I like learned how to like bless it, and like release its spirit, and I consecrated it as like a part of my life. I did like Wicca was like what I really like. I like genuinely like practiced Wicca for like a couple months. Like I went to like a meeting, like a gathering. Mm-hmm. It was it was at like what's that state park right there in Ulua. We just went like a couple weeks ago.
Oh, Harrison Bay?
Yeah, it was at Harrison Bay. Mm-hmm. Super weird. They wouldn't let me take any photos.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was like there was a bunch of weird. I didn't stay for the whole thing, which I kind of regret. But I had school and stuff, so. But I definitely saw some weird stuff. You know, some ritualistic altar-y, dancing around a fire, mostly nude, kind of, you know, under the moonlight stuff. Didn't necessarily take part in all of it. I was kind of there as like a observer. That was kind of like what I had pitched to the woman who led the coven. But yeah, that was a whole strange experience that I like could get into, but haven't really thought about in a really long time. So I don't really know.
We'll talk about it on a different podcast.
We'll come back to that at some point.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, there's that was a whole weird thing, but yeah, that deer. So it's like I feel like when people like see it, it's like oh you hunt. You know, but it's like
no, I see that and I don't think you hunt.
Yeah? Okay.
No, yeah. I don't know if I've ever seen a bleached, like, full head in a hunter's home.
That's fair.
Yeah.
That's fair. It's usually like the antlers and it's
it's either like what I have, which is the top part where it broke away, the part of the skull, or it's the full head.
Yeah.
Taxidermy.
Yeah. That's true. I guess that's true.
Yeah, no, but stuff like that I normally see is more artsy.
Decor.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess that's. I've thought of many a time about doing. I've seen like some kind of cool stuff people have done with like yarn and stuff with like antlers and making cool like weavings out of it, and I've thought about doing something like that, but I kind of just like it as it is.
That's cool.
But yeah. So I guess I don't know. I could tell another one if we want to get into that, or we could cut it.
Well, how are we on time? Where are we?
I have no idea.
Let me check the time.
Do you know what time we started?
No. It's 11:32.
We've been going for about an hour.
About an hour.
30 minutes.
I think it's a solid point. I mean, if we're talking about cutting it off, might as well.
Yeah.
I thought it was a good one. You had some good stories.
Yeah, you know, I've got. Have I told you about the bridge?
About the
bridge? I told you about the bridge, right? Me and Dylan?
Yeah, you set it on fire. Yeah, I set the bridge on fire. That's a good one.
On accident. I mean...
No, you did it on purpose. Like, describe the actions you took leading up to the bridge
so
being on fire. Sounds like you did it on purpose.
Yeah. Yeah, I guess I shouldn't tell it, because then it'll definitely sound like I did it. I mean, I totally did it on purpose, but the outcome was unintended. The outcome I had planned for didn't quite happen because the elements were not what I had asked for. I entrusted others to buy supplies that were like very specific, and they messed up, and so. But I didn't do anything about it, so I set a bridge on fire.
Just went, fuck it. You're right. That is what we needed.
Yeah, it didn't like catch though.
No.
Yeah, I mean it's treated.
Yeah.
It was wood.
Mm-hmm.
It was treated.
Yeah.
It's treated wood. So
it's treated wood. It's fine. Yeah, really high temperatures get that
Yeah.
burning.
Yeah, it was like dripping down though, like onto the street, like through it, because it was like a train, over the street.
Were you below it or above?
Oh, above it.
You're above, yeah.
I was on
that's what I
top.
thought.
Yeah.
Because
there's
below,
there's
such
that
a road.
shield.
Yeah.
So you're behind the shield, so like you couldn't see us up there until there was like a bunch of black smoke rising from the
Top, yeah.
and then fire dripping out below on the cars. At least one car, for sure. I saw that happen.
I once, as a child, this has to do with fire, so
I have a lot of fire stories.
Oh, yeah, I'm sure we both do.
Yeah, we sound like, I would say, judging off of, like, the odds that my male friends are also, were also, like, kind of pyros when we were kids, is, like, super high, apparently, because, like, almost all of us, like, Joe was, you were, Chet, and Mason, like, we're the ones doing it together as kids. Like,
fire's fun.
Fire's awesome.
It's great.
It's super easy to make. You can do a lot of weird stuff with it. We used to, like, cook wild onions and stuff and eat them. Like,
I once said it's fun to watch grass, like, burn and expand. I once did it. Me and my cousins, we went a little too far. We set most of the backyard of my dad's house, like most of it.
My dad did that on accident.
Burnt to a crisp, and my dad wasn't very happy.
Yeah.
No, but it was fun before he showed up. It was a great time.
My dad did that once, and when you come to my parents' house, you'll understand why that's like such a horrible thing, like such a really, really bad thing. But like, yeah, it ended up being like this like huge plume of smoke out of the backyard. He just like, didn't notice that it had gotten out of like, because he had made a fire and it just like spread on the grass and was just like burning up the leaves in the grass and stuff. And like someone else called the fire department and like
those bitches.
Yeah. Well, no, I mean like they were necessary. Like he couldn't put it out with a hose anymore. Like it was just him there. Like if it had been me and him and we had two hoses, like maybe we could have done it. But like
the amount of times because you know there's that like that island and then the fire pit's in the middle. The amount of times that entire island has been burnt to a crisp. And because whenever we did bonfires, it was my job to make sure beyond the gravel or whatever didn't catch on fire. Because we, every Christmas, we'll do one this year where we'll burn the Christmas tree.
Oh yeah, we do that too.
Set it up with all the boxes underneath it like it's Christmas morning.
Well, I'll tell you about mine afterwards.
It's massive, but we've made, I have pictures of bonfires that were much larger than the house.
Yeah.
Like,
we
used to do so many.
So for Christmas, it's always I burn the tree. I don't think my parents do it now that I'm not there. But it's funny and to do it because we have this like hole in the front yard that we use specifically for the holidays because my parents are Christian. So they put up. My dad like made a little like manger scene that he puts up every year around Christmas, and so he puts the cross. There's a cross there for some reason. It's kind of morbid.
Oh, that's weird.
Yeah.
Yeah, you shouldn't have a cross.
Yeah, I don't know. Doesn't make sense. But whatever. I'm game with it. So he puts that shit out every year. And then after Christmas, I take it down and I put the Christmas tree in the hole where the cross was. And I set it on fire. So it's always like, I always kind of am wondering, like, if someone is, like, driving by and was like, oh, was there a cross there? Is that on fire now? Like,
is a cross burning?
Which, like, I hope not, because my parents is, like, old or whatever as they may be. They're definitely not, like, cross burning. Like, not at all. Not even close.
The tiki torch whites.
Yeah, no, not even close. But it's always just kind of like a funny thought that I have. I doubt anyone really thinks that. I mean, it's a totally different size and shape and all that stuff, but it's just always been kind of funny. But yeah, burning the Christmas tree, if you've never done that before.
Oh, it's great though.
Yeah, I mean, if you've got the land for it, it's really cool. It's just, I mean, it's by the time that Christmas is over, the tree is so dry.
Yeah.
That it just like
It goes up so quick, and then it'll burn.
Smells
off.
really good.
Oh, it smells delightful.
Yeah.
Make your whole neighborhood.
They'll
smell
burn
good.
for a really long time because the wood itself, like the trunk, will burn for a
Well,
while.
I've had the issue of sometimes the outside will burn so quick that the trunk won't
Sometimes,
even, and
yeah,
I'll just have the pencil. But
Yeah, you just gotta you gotta take what you gotta do with that is you gotta get one of the ladders and you gotta get up there and you just gotta pour a little like gasoline over the top, pour a little gasoline in the hole in the bottom, and then you're good to go. It'll burn from the. But yeah, yeah. One time when they were building my house, we had to get, or they had finished building my house, and we had like, the way my street is set up is like my house is here, and the street comes down to a corner like over here, and this is all like our land over here, and then it comes up the street to the top of the hill, and there's a house up here that's like some old family friends. And we originally bought like this huge square of property and then sold them like this part and like kept kind of like this L shape, right? So my parents are over at their house because it's already built on their deck. Like they're, having a good time, like hanging out, whatever. There's a bonfire over our house. They can see over from their house to our house, so it's not like totally irresponsible. But also, this is like the early 2000s, so like parenting is like very loose and fast.
yeah,
At this time still, so we're like, and my whole childhood was like exactly like my parents' childhood, in the 70s or whatever. So it was all kind of loose and fast. But so me and this other family's daughter Hope are over there at the bonfire, just like throwing scraps and stuff in there. And at some point, I don't know if I threw it or she threw it or like what. I have no memory of that. But like someone threw in I guess it had to be like a bottle, like a water bottle that we just thought had water in it, but was really like either like vodka or tequila or like gasoline or something for some reason, like some kind of something. But it like blows up in the fire, but the fire really like comes out. And so we get like knocked. I don't really remember what happens to Hope, but I know that I got like knocked on my ass, and like I didn't have like eyebrows or like like fucking hair in the front of my face and shit. And like I just remember like waking up and my parents just like running through the woods. I hear my parents like running through the woods between our houses, trying to get there, like make sure that we're not dead. And like it's just it's a crazy experience. But yeah, we used to do stuff with fire. We just like dig like 5 or 6 foot holes in the ground, like big pits, like and just build fires in them. Yeah. Just like that was just like, it's Saturday, let's build a fucking pit. Like
we would play with fireworks.
Oh yeah, fireworks are fun. Me and my dad would like you dip like tennis balls and like lighter fluid, like soak them in lighter fluid, and you can like light them, put oven mitts on, and you just like toss them back and forth. We used to do that all the time.
That's cool.
Yeah, it was super dope.
Yeah, we would set up the fireworks to like fall over.
Oh yeah.
And then we'd like dodge them and stuff. And the parents didn't like us doing this, but we did it anyway. But one 4th of July, I don't know who bought the fireworks, but they were the crappiest, lowest grade fireworks I've ever dealt with, and it was one of the best
that's awesome.
New Year's I've ever had. Like we had one mortar that went literally about as high as the ceiling and blew up. Like just
that's terrifying.
Oh yeah, no, like we and then we were setting them up to like fall over, and like we were.
God. That's hilarious.
Oh yeah, we were just setting the yards on fire, setting the neighbors' yards on fire. My hair was burned.
One time, 4th of July, we weren't like doing it. Like we definitely like had Roman candle fights and stuff, but we like got like 6 of those like big, like they're not the like big mortars, but they're the like big packs of mortars, that do like 6 a piece or something.
Yeah.
So we got like 6 of those motherfuckers, like put them all together, and like put them all in like one long fuse, and like lit it, and we're like standing there, and like when it got close, we started like we were like, all right, we should probably back up. But like the first one, like the one in the middle for some reason goes off first and tips all the ones back towards us, and so we see this happen, and our parents are like way closer, like we're pretty far away from the house. This is at Chud Mason's house, and so we're like we're just booking it, right? But it's like, you know, it's like one of those scenes out of like a World War II movie or some shit. We're just like fucking running, just like soldiers like retreating in battle, and there's just shit just whizzing by us and exploding all around us, and we're just like, just like, it's just one of the craziest. It's probably not all that intense in reality.
No, probably not.
To have like witnessed it, but being a part of it as that like 13-year-old or whatever was just like, I was like, it was like Saving Private Ryan. Like I was just like, I gotta fucking make it. Like it was just shit like exploding everywhere. It was wild. It was crazy. The dog was barking. It was great. It was one of my favorite like fireworks experiences. Honestly, it's like when they go horribly wrong.
For a while there, I seriously considered becoming a pyrotechnic.
Really, that'd be super dope. That'd be super cool.
I mean, think it'd be a lot.
It'd be a lot of fun. Yeah. I think that's like a hobby I'd like to have when I'm older. Mm-hmm. Just like be that crazy dude that makes stuff blow up when you're like 60 something. You know.
Lit.
Mad scientist vibes, hardcore.
Anyway, I'm probably gonna call it because I'm hungry.
I'm also kind of hungry, so that works.
So check out our new series, Heavenly Bites.
Yeah,
coming
we're gonna
out
hopefully
soon.
get that started. Either hopefully our first episode will either be this Wednesday or next Wednesday. Yeah. We're gonna have to probably film a test episode, and if it works out, totally fine, and we have no bugs.
Then this weekend.
Then we'll go ahead and post it. And if not, which is much more likely, next week.
Yeah.
But we'll be coming out with that and hopefully some more content for you guys very soon. Thank you so much for watching our videos. We really appreciate it. It means a lot. Please subscribe and like. I hate saying that, but like it's so necessary now that I like am actually doing this.
I know. You need this to work.
Yeah. I need this so bad. I love my job, but like if I could be making money doing this, like I hate my job. Like I could do so much more cool stuff. Anyway, thank you guys so much. Have a good one. This has been Hot Takes with God.
Hot Takes with God.
See you next week.